Hi, this is Rob Packard from Medical Device Academy, and today we're going to be talking about what is a pre-star. Yep, pre-star. Not my name. FDA came up with it. I love it. The E-star was the template that they came up with for doing a 510K or a de novo. So it's an electronic template. It's also an acronym. It means Electronic Submission Template and Resource. So it's an Adobe Acrobat template that you fill in and then you upload it to the FDA website. So instead of creating your own template, you might have templates for individual documents that you attach, but the overall submission, you no longer have to have a template for it. You just use the FDA's template. And in fact, this template is mandatory starting October 1st. So what's a pre-star? A pre-start is a pre-submission template. Same user interface, very, very similar look and feel to it. A lot of the same elements that you would have in the eStar, but it's specifically for a pre-submission. So that's what a pre-star is. And they released the beta version 0.1 on June 6th. So you can download it off the FDA website. I forgot to add a link to that, but I'll put it down below in the description for this video so you have it. But it's 0.1, it's a beta version. Just because it's a beta version doesn't mean it's not good and doesn't mean it's not validated. They have validated it. It works great. I've already used it. Yes, in 1 month, already used it, love it. Throwing out all my other templates, just using this for pre-submissions from now on. Now, there are two problems with it, and I actually wrote a little list here so I would remember why I want to emphasize this so much. Number one, when do you use the pre-start? Only 2 times. Number one, if you want to request a pre-submission meeting with the FDA, or you want to request email feedback from the FDA. So either you get email feedback or you get email feedback and a teleconference with the FDA. One of those 2 times, those are your only 2 options at this time. Now, what are the benefits of a pre-star? Number one benefit from the FDA's perspective, I'll give first, and then I'll give the company's perspective. The benefit from the FDA's perspective is now everybody's submitting it the same way. So they don't need a checklist. You fill in that template and it shows green at the top, says that the pre-star is complete. You're done. No need to validate, no need to use your checklist. Everything is in there because you have a validated checklist, a validated template. And if you didn't fill it in completely, it won't be green at the top and it won't allow you to submit it. So, for those of you out there that are wondering about the benefits, that's the number one benefit. No more worries about, is this complete? Does it meet all the requirements? If it's green on top, you're good. So that's the first benefit. No more checklist. It's green, it's good. And second benefit, everybody's using the same one. So those are the 2 big benefits to the FDA. Now, what are the benefits to you? The number one benefit to you is it's going to give you practice on how to use the eStar because it's the same user interface and a lot of the same features. In fact, some of them are identical. Now, why would you want to do this? Because October 1st, you have to do the eStar and you want practice. And if there were number one answer that I give every single client and all our consultants are giving clients, well, that would be a good subject to ask in a pre-submission. So if you're going to do a pre-submission, if you're going to follow our advice and do a pre-submission, now's the time to do it because by the time you get a response from your pre-submission, which will be about 75 days, it'll be just in time for the FDA eStar submission of your 510K or de novo. So this is about the last opportunity. If you don't submit your pre-sub using the old template today, you won't have time to get in an old format of a 510K or a de novo. So time's run out. And I wouldn't use the old one anyway. We've switched over 100% in our company to using the new template for eStar, and now we're switching over 100% to the pre-star template for pre-submissions. So we recommend that you do that too. Now, when a consultant that sells and makes templates for pre-submissions in 510Ks and de novo said, we're not using ours anymore, we're just using theirs, that's a clue how good this is. So somebody says they want to know about risk management. So this particular topic, we're going to be specifically talking about pre-stars. We're not going to be talking about risk management today, and there's no place specifically in the pre-star for risk management. But please put a comment down below that you want to talk about that, and I will go back and I'll be able to happy to answer any questions. You can always put comments on our YouTube channel, and I answer those. So if you have a comment down below that's not on this topic, just make sure you put it on our YouTube channel, and I'll answer the comments one at a time. But it doesn't fall in the scope of this. So sorry I couldn't help you right now, but we're going to focus on the pre-start. Now, the benefits to you, number one, it's going to give you practice. This is the last time to really learn this. Number two, a lot of people are not sure what information they have to provide, what things they don't. As I said before, it's a benefit to the FDA. It's green, it's good. Same thing for you. If you have green at the top, you know you provided it. Now, a lot of people are confused as to what things are optional in a pre-submission and what things are mandatory in a pre-submission. Well, the FDA's helped you with that. In all the templates, they have a gray, green, or red sidebar. So on the left-hand side of the bar, you'll see green means it's good. You met the requirement, and that's one of the things that makes it green. If it's red, you're not meeting the requirement, so you got to finish filling something in, something's missing. If it's gray, it's optional. So the whole entire labeling section of the pre-star is gray. It's optional. So companies say, well, do I have to have it? I don't have a label yet. I don't have an instruction for use. Why do I just want this question answered? You don't have to provide it. Why do we ask you to? Why do we suggest you do it? The same reason the FDA does. It helps them understand how your device is going to be used. And they have an opportunity to review it and identify potential problems with your labeling, inconsistencies between what you're proposing for indication for use and how you're designing your instruction for use for that device. So they want you to provide it. Do you have to? No. Should you? Yes. So gray is optional, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It's good practice. Force your team to prepare these documents earlier. After all, wouldn't it be nice to have draft feedback in September for an October submission? So if you're submitting your pre-sub now, you're getting feedback in September, you're going to submit in October for your 510K, you want that feedback on the labeling. Same thing with other sections. They have option. So one of the required sections in device description is you have to actually attach a device description. People say, why do I need so much? Because the FDA says so. But do you have to provide photos? You should. It really helps communicate more than the words will. And it really helps the FDA understand things that might be misunderstood when they're reading, but the photos are optional. It's a gray section. The packaging configuration, gray as well. But the device description, not gray. It's red. You have to fill it in. A lot of people struggle with how many questions can we ask? Why can't we ask our 27 questions we asked with 47 subparts? Because the FDA says so. Now, we've seen some inconsistencies at the FDA on whether you have 3 questions or 4 questions or more than that. And it was misinterpreted by some people at the FDA, and we won't name any names because it's happened more than once by multiple people. So it's not good communication. The whole purpose of having this out there is to clarify and people keep companies that are submitting to the FDA consistent. So now it says 4 topics, and it lists all the potential topics that you could have for a pre-submission, but it forces you to checkbox which ones you want. And if you don't checkbox that section, then you can't enter a question down below on that topic. So you can list up to 4 items. So checkbox 4 different topics. And then down below, it lets you write up to 10 questions. But the 10 questions could be a mix and match. You might only have 1 question about indication for use, but you might have 3 questions about your clinical study design. So the total number of questions in a pre-submission could be up to 10 in 4 subject areas or less. So that doesn't mean don't ask less questions. It just means your maximum is 10 questions and maximum 4 topics. Now, if this is helpful to you so far, don't forget, like and subscribe the video down below. That'll help me so I can keep on giving you some more of these educational videos because we don't make anything for these. All the YouTube videos are free. I'm definitely not going to retire on the 37 cents that I get from Google each month. So please like and subscribe down below. And the most important thing here for the subscription, if you click ring the bell, then you'll be notified. Hey, Rob's up and doing a live, because I did a live earlier this week, and a lot of people didn't know because I did it at a weird time. It was unplanned. So if you want the unplanned ones, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell. Now, what's missing from this beta version? There are two key things that I'm going to beg the FDA to add. Number one, you're filling in all this administrative information, you're filling in all the device description information, all the labeling information. And wouldn't it really be nice to not have to do that twice? Because you have to write in text boxes, you have to select yes, no. Wouldn't it be nice to just have that automatically export over to the eStar so I don't have to retype it? It really would, but we tried exporting and then importing, and it doesn't import. And it's a different template, so we're not surprised. But if there were some way to do that, that would be awesome. So if you think of a way at the FDA, that would be great. And I'll put that in an email. If you go visit our blog that I posted on Wednesday evening, and there's a link down below. If you go to that blog, it actually has contact links. So the FDA, the person that actually wrote this, PreSTAR, they gave us contact links so we can send in emails for any questions or comments about the PreSTAR. So if you want to do that too, if you think of some weaknesses or some strengths or whatever, you want to give them feedback, you have a question about how to use the PreSTAR, that's where you send it. The second thing that's missing from the beta, and I think this is planned, you can't do SIRs yet. So SIR is submission issue review meetings. So SIR is submission issue review, and it's a meeting. It's another type of Q-sub meeting, but it's specifically for companies that are already in the process of the submission where the FDA is reviewing it. So a 510K or de novo, this is after you submitted your eStar. This is when you would use an SIR. We should be able to do the same thing for the SIR meetings using this PreSTAR template, but it's not available yet, and they say that. So that's the two real big things that are missing from this beta version. And it's a beta version. You can see when you, at the beginning, a lot of things are not, you can't click on them and activate them. They have things planned, so you'll see it. And then, how can you learn more about this PreSTAR? Well, I'm only giving a quick video here. It's free. But next Wednesday, the 5th, so right after our July 4th, the 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be kicking off the Ultimate Pre-Submission webinar series. So if you want training on how to do a pre-sub, you've never done one before, and you want training, this is it. For $2.99, you can get training on this. But we've already done tons of trainings before on pre-stars, and I'm sorry, not pre-stars, but pre-submissions and templates and the eStar. We have a whole 510K course. This will be part of the 510K course. But if you haven't bought our 510K course yet, you can try it out by just buying this PreSTAR webinar series. So it's 4 parts, 4 Wednesdays in a row, starting next Wednesday, 11 a.m., 45 minutes each. If you're not available at that time, that's okay. It's recorded. But if you are available, you can ask questions live. You can always email me with questions as well. But the key thing here is you will get a tutorial. I'm actually going to go in and fill in a PreSTAR. Now, I'm not going to be able to do it real time for you, but we're going to go section by section for a complete hypothetical product. I'm even going to let people poll this weekend, decide which device they want me to pick. I'm going to give them 3 different choices, so you'll get to pick which device you want me to fill in for the entire PreSTAR. It's a hypothetical company, and we're going to ask questions that would be appropriate for that type of device. And we're going to give a testing plan, so you'll kind of see what a testing plan would look like. We're going to give you a device description for that hypothetical product, so you'll actually get access to our native Word document for the device description. You'll get our access to our native Word version for the testing plan. You'll get access to these things that we're going to actually attach in this document, and you'll see where they go, and you can ask questions because it'll be live. We're going to have 4 different sections. I've already got the outline of everything we're going to cover. It's 45 minutes each, 11 to 11:45, so it's going to be fast paced. And if you have any questions afterwards, follow up by emails. But this is what we're going to offer starting this Wednesday, 4 in a row. It's the best training we've ever done on a PreSTAR. Now, why I say it's, if you want to try, see what it's like before you buy our 510K course series, if you buy that 4-part series for $2.99 and you said, I want to upgrade to the 510K course, Becca, our invoices and proposals person, she will be able to invoice you for the difference, or we can give you a refund, a partial refund for the $299. So either way, you can either buy our 510K course online, get the partial refund, or contact Becca and she'll get you the discount invoice. So you're paying $299 less for the people that had already bought this new PreSTAR video series. So I hope that helps for people that are interested. And if you already bought the 510K course, you should check your email today, because you should have gotten an email last night or this morning saying, here's the webinar link for signing up for it. If you didn't get that, that means you didn't maintain your subscription in there. So contact us. We'll look up, make sure that you paid, and we'll reinstate your subscription. But you have to confirm those subscriptions, because we deliver all the content by email through Aweber. So that covers how you learn more about pre-stars and pre-submissions. That's the best training we have had yet. And I'm going to have the full team participating. So last thing on the list, there are 2 links down below in the device description. Share those with the video description. Click on those links, share those links to people. One is a link to the blog that I talked about. I published it on Wednesday. Number 2 is the Ultimate PreSTAR pre-submission course. So if you want to learn more about how to do a PreSTAR and get a live tutorial on how to do this, that's where to get it, and you can share that link with other people so they can sign up too. I hope that answers everybody's questions. I'm going to look down below here. I see the risk management one. So as I said, please put comments in our YouTube channel, and we'll answer those questions one by one. There is a question: is an authorized representative necessary for the U.S. FDA? Who has the manufacturing unit outside the U.S.? They don't call it that. They call it a U.S. agent. And we do provide U.S. agent services. And if you look on our website, if you just type in U.S. agent, it'll give you that information. And Becca Taylor is the person that can get you a proposal for that. And she's actually the one that enters the things in the database. Myself and Sharon Moreau, we both help her when she has any technical difficulties, but we've trained her on how to do all the data entry, and she's going to be doing a lot of them this fall for the new fiscal year for the FDA. So yes, we provide that, and that's what they're called. They're called U.S. agents, not authorized representatives. So great question, but not related to pre-stars. Next one, 510K submission requirements of authorized representative necessary. So you're not required to have an authorized representative, or U.S. agent is what they call it, for a 510K submission. You're not required for them to have a U.S. agent for a pre-submission either. You're only required to have a U.S. agent for registration. When they originally wrote the U.S. regulations, they had suggested that they were going to have a U.S. agent required for doing submissions, but during the review of the process or review of the regulations, they decided to change that and eliminate that requirement. So they only have the U.S. agent requirement for companies that are registering. So it's during the registration process that happens. So I hope that answers that question. And then a link to the blog throws a 404 error. Okay, so I'll double check that. Probably what happened is it got truncated. So I will go in there and I'll fix that. But for those of you that want it, it's, let me double check here. So I have it on my other screen. So it's called medicaldeviceacademy.com/FDA-pre-submission. So that was the blog on Wednesday. Of course, you can also go to medicaldeviceacademy.com/blog, and that'll get you there as well, because that's what we have for our blog page. And if you go to Medical Device Academy, across the top, the navigation bars, one of them is the blog link. So I hope that helps, and thank you for letting me know there's a 404 area. I'll fix that. How many questions can you include in the pre-sub? So that we answered a little bit earlier in the video. The answer is 10 maximum. Great question. So a lot of people have received, particularly from the IVD group at the FDA, sorry, please limit your questions to 3 or 4 questions. That's not what the regulation says. That's not what the guidance says. It says 3 to 4 topics. So to clarify that, in the pre-submission, pre-STAR templates, what they've got is a little box there with a bunch of check boxes next to different topics. So human factors, clinical studies, indication for use, regulatory strategy, testing plan, different things like that, sterility, biocompatibility, whatever your topic is for that submission, you check the boxes, but you can only check 4 boxes for topics. You can check less, but you maximum is 4, and then you select 10 questions within those 4 topics. So you could have 1 question about indication for use, 3 questions about your clinical study, and 5 questions about your let's say non-clinical benchtop testing, and then maybe 1 question about biocompatibility. And there'd be your 10 questions, but it would only be in 3 areas, or that's 4 areas. So indication for use is 1, clinical study is another area, non-clinical bench testing would be a 3rd, and your biocompatibility would be the 4th. So that'd be 4 areas, but 10 questions. So I hope that answers that. Glad I was able to help you there, Shiva. Sorry I couldn't answer more questions about risk during this call. And then the second link works. Okay, cool. So only the first link is the problem. The second link is not. I will fix that. It's the blog link. Maybe it was I have a typo when I typed it in, so I got 2 different places I need to check that. So thank you very much. That's it for today's live streaming video. Next week I'll have another one, 12:30 Eastern time. In the afternoon, lunchtime, we have it every week. If you have a topic that you'd like me to just put it down below in the comments, and I'll try to make that next week's topic. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.